What is up, BosBabes fanatics? We are back at it again. I'm your host, Brittany Baldi. We have another fantastic episode today featuring David Pindell. He is actually a former star UConn quarterback, and he is absolutely fantastic. I am obsessed with him already just for the simple fact that he played college football up in the Northeast, which you guys know I am from that area. So New England through and through. David, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. I appreciate you for having me. I'm doing well, enjoying the weather, and just being able to relax on this day. Appreciate you for having me once again.
Learned a little bit about you behind the scenes outside of football and, of course, within the sport of football. But first, I wanted to jump right into it. I thought this would be an interesting question to start off with. If you could have any type of superpower, what would you want to have? I know you mentioned to me earlier that you would enjoy being able to read people's minds. So why would you enjoy reading people's minds as your superpower?
I would enjoy being a mind reader if I had a superpower, because I'm around a lot of people and I like to just, get a feel for what people thinking or, what they feel about you or other people they're around, just, because some people can always have a smile on their face, but could feel a certain way, or they can always look down and you can't really, judge what their mood is. So I just want to, read people's minds and see where they at and, what they're going through and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool. That's an interesting way to look at things. Also, too, being a quarterback, it might be cool to be able to read people's minds because it might help you out on the field, knowing where to throw the ball potentially as well.
Exactly, that too. Easier for me.
If you could change one thing in the past, what would that be? It could be something both positive or negative. It doesn't have to be anything too crazy out there.
You talking as far as my career or just anything in general?
Anything in general. Like, say you went to college and you studied something, but you wish you had studied something else. Or say you took a vacation to Florida, but you wish you had gone to Costa Rica.
If I could change one thing, it would be the whole grading scale. Coming out of high school, getting recruited to college, that whole grading scale where you got to meet a certain GPA to, accept a scholarship. And the reason I say that is because I ended up going junior college out of high school. I didn't go straight to UConn because I was late playing football. I started playing football in sophomore year of high school. So I wasn't really familiar with the whole having a, 2.5 GPA and, taking a test score. I wasn't really familiar with all that as far as, getting recruited. So when I found all that out, I was late. And, I was late trying to, pick up my grades. And I ended up having to go junior college at Lackawanna College. So, if I could just change one thing, I would take that away, because if it wasn't for that, I'd probably be at a different school. My career would have been a whole different direction, if I'm being honest.
Break the ice a little bit and get to know you again outside of sports. You guys are now listening to David Pindell. He's an athlete. He's a pro-style quarterback. He had a fantastic college career. I'm pretty sure he's going to absolutely crush it after college. I know he's had some tryouts and whatnot with some NFL teams, and I believe he just recently got signed with the team in Albany, New York. Stay with us. We're going to be talking all about that. He's very young, very healthy, very athletic, and you guys are going to absolutely love listening to this full podcast episode. You grew up in Columbia, Maryland, so I want to know, what was it like growing up in that hometown of yours? Did you have any siblings? What was your early years like in Maryland?
Yeah, so I grew up in Columbia, Maryland. It's about 15 minutes outside of Baltimore. There was 7 of us, so I have 4 sisters, 2 brothers. I'm the second youngest, and we all ended up growing up. We all stayed with our mother, so all 7 of us plus my mother. It was 8 of us in the house. I'm the first one in my family to ever play sports, football in college at the pro level, anything. So I'm the trendsetter of the family. Growing up, it was fun. We were my mom was a really strict parent as far as not letting us go outside as much, keeping us in the house, keeping us in front of her all the time, and we couldn't go over friends' houses and stuff like that, because she just always wanted to keep her eyes on us. So growing up, we had to make a living just playing with each other, creating things in the house as far as wrestling each other, playing little games in our basement. So I think growing up as a whole, it was fun. And then as we got older, our family was a big military family. So my brothers and sister, they ended up going to the military. And, I ended up taking the sports route because it kind of worked out for me as I was getting recruited my senior year. So, growing up, we were all close together, but as we got older, everybody started moving in different directions, which I think kind of made us even closer because now that everybody's in a different area. My sister, she's in Guam. My brother, he's in Hawaii. My other sister, she's in Dubai. We're all, in different areas. So we have these little FaceTime and, group chats that we just talk all the time, every day, just to, check up on each other because, like, we don't know if we'll ever see each other again. So it's been fun growing up. My mom, she's by herself right now. So I feel like I'm the one who has to, always check in on her, go visit her because I'm the closest to home. She's still in Maryland. I'm up in New York, and that's 3.5, 4 hour drive. I enjoyed our childhood. Columbia is a small town. It's not much to do. Biggest thing we used to do for fun, probably go skating. There's a place called Supreme Sports Club. We go skating on like Friday nights, and that was our little activity that we did. Other than that, we didn't really do much growing up. We just stayed in the house, wrestled, got on our mother's nerves, and hey, went to school and just stayed out of trouble.
I think it's pretty amazing that you had so many siblings. It sounds like you guys were all very close. Again, I think it's pretty awesome that you guys grew up right on the East Coast, just like I did. Super freaking interesting that you guys all kind of live in different areas. I guess if you wanted to, once COVID completely goes away, you can just pack your bags after sports or on your off season and go visit. It sounds like you have brothers and sisters in all different areas of the world, which is kind of neat to have those opportunities to visit different places. I know you said that you guys were very athletic and competitive and like to have fun amongst one another. What types of foods did you enjoy eating while you were at home? Did your mom cook any home cooked meals for you? And do you know how to cook? And if so, what do you like to cook?
Yeah, so us growing up, 7 of us. So our mom, she probably, I would say, probably cooked probably once or twice a week. And she'd make a big dinner. So one thing I can remember she always cooking was like, rice, chicken, green beans, macaroni, and like big old dish of spaghetti. That's what that was our biggest thing that, I can remember, daily. That's one thing my mom always cooked. And then on top of that, my personal favorite, I like to cook. I used to like making noodles, ramen noodles, macaroni. I like making macaroni and like Popeyes. That was my favorite. To this day, I still eat those. I like making Popeyes with turkey in there, the vegetables, and I like hot sauce on mine. So that was one of my favorite individual meals. Popeyes and ramen noodles.
Sounds like you guys definitely enjoyed some awesome comfort food when you were younger. And I know you said you guys didn't really travel too much. Totally makes sense having so many freaking kids. I was kind of the same way. I didn't have that many siblings. I had a brother and a sister. But with us being so active and playing sports, the only really vacations that we ever took, aside from going to do local things like going to the local beaches or going to Florida here and there, a lot of our stuff was sports related for tournaments and whatnot. What was it like for the holiday season, having so many siblings? Can you describe kind of was like during Christmas? Did you guys have any special gifts that you remember? Any special family memories that you could share with the Boss Babes fanatics?
So growing up, our holidays weren't really like the biggest holidays and the best because, for one, my mom, she never really had a car growing up. She got her first car in 2017. My sister bought it for her when she got in the military. Growing up, my mom never had a car. So basically, for us, like we never could get anywhere. We always were, stayed at home unless, one of our aunts or uncles came and picked us up and we went to their house, which is really rare because it's 7 of us. So you got to, find a way to get all of us in the car. So like for the holidays and stuff, we just stayed around. One Christmas I can remember though, back in like 2005, 2006, I was like third grade. My mom, so the day before Christmas Eve, our living room, we didn't have any gifts in there. We didn't have no tree or anything like that. We just thinking we're not gonna be able to get gifts because mom, she just be like, yeah, I ain't gonna be able to get y'all nothing this year. But she always does that a lot. She, plays around, mess with our minds. So it was like day before Christmas, and she just, I ain't gonna be able to get y'all nothing because I don't have any money and I couldn't get anywhere. We came down for Christmas down in our living room. Our living room was flooded like from wall to wall. It was just presents everywhere, wrapped everywhere, and it's just like, as a young kid, you surprised. And now that I think about it, it's just like I was wondering how did she hide all those gifts or where did she get them from because our living room was pretty big. And it was like from one wall all the way to the other wall, just filled with gifts everywhere. It was like 3 bikes for us 3, the younger ones. We had remote control cars. We had almost every board game you can think of. It was just like, that was probably the best Christmas to me as far as I can remember because of how much stuff we got. And, as a kid, we got tricked thinking we weren't going to have a Christmas, and then just to come down and be that surprised. That's what I remember. Our Thanksgivings, we used to go to our grandma's house. To this day, that's one thing we do. Somehow, some way, we all get all the way up. We all get in a car, and we got to our grandmother's house. So she'd cook a big old dinner at her house, and we'll watch movies, and then we sit around. So we'll eat dinner, and then we'll sit around a big old circle, we'll talk and say what we're thankful for. And at the end, grandma she'll put like a big old screen up, and we'll watch a movie. And that's like a tradition I can say that we have since I was growing up.
It sounds like you really freaking enjoy Christmas. You loved Thanksgiving. I think it's awesome that your mom kind of tricked you guys into thinking that you weren't going to have a Christmas, and then you wake up and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is amazing. There's a whole plethora of gifts everywhere. And
Right.
I literally loved that story. And it sounds like you guys are super family oriented. You guys are now listening to David Pindell. He's an athlete, a pro style quarterback. We are talking all about his childhood currently. Again, you guys know that I love letting you guys go behind the scenes with my BosBabes Fanatics special guests. We will hop right into it. Sports as a kid. Obviously, you got into football, but was there anything else that you enjoyed playing when you were a kid? Basketball, baseball, boxing? And I know that your idols were Aaron Rodgers and Michael Vick. So we will talk about that as well. But first off, did you play any other sports as a kid besides football?
Growing up, only sports I really played were at my recess in elementary school. I never played organized sports, youth sports, anything like that, because our religion is it's Pentecostal. So basically on Saturdays it's our Sabbath, and we can't really do anything. And AAU and youth football, they play their games on Saturdays. So for me and my family, like my mom, she wouldn't let us play sports or anything because everything was on Saturday and we couldn't do nothing on Saturday. So I never played organized sports until I got into my sophomore year of high school. But, in elementary school at recess, I was always the one kid who always wanted to be the fastest kid. So I always liked to race everybody. Used to race everybody, whoever it is. We can be in the parking lot. We can be outside in the field. And I was always racing. I was just beating everybody. So I enjoyed, running, racing. Played basketball for fun, but it wasn't really something I enjoyed as much. And that's it. And I used to just throwing the ball back and forth with friends throwing the football back and forth. But those are the only sports I could really think of. I never played baseball, hockey, any of them other things, lacrosse, anything like that. It was just football. I like running, and then occasionally I play basketball, for fun.
Well, I know you mentioned you enjoyed throwing the football around with the neighborhood kids. Did you have a set group of friends that you played with every day or once a week? Are you still friends with these kids now? Obviously, you guys are all adults, but do you keep in touch with any of them? And what do you remember most about throwing the football around with the kids in your neighborhood?
Yeah, in our neighborhood, so it was a group of kids. Like we all live in the same complex, so we would always play the sports or play football whenever. It was always dictated by our family, because everybody else family, they could come outside whenever they want. But in our family, my mom, she never really let us outside. So it's like whenever David and them come out, we play big old pickup game in the street, in the yard. So it was it's like I can remember all the kids. A kid named DeMonte, Darius, Darnell, my girl Chelsea, Manuel, and friend Stevens, and then my brother and my sister. And we all used to play football. And I remember the best memory I remember, we had this big old game. I think it was a cookout day. So like around July 4th of the summer, we was 5th or 6th grade. We had our whole family there. So like my aunts, uncles, they all were at our house, and all the kids over there. We were playing football, playing I guess 4-on-4 from mailbox to mailbox. And I felt like that's probably the first time I ever felt like I was in a real game or anything like that, because we were playing football just regularly. The next thing you know, our uncle stepped in and he started, clapping and, coaching and saying this stuff. Then my aunt came over. Then a couple of neighbors came over and everything. And it just seemed like everybody was watching us. It was fun. It was competing. And then afterwards, we just sat down. We enjoyed the dinner and, had popsicles and stuff like that. So it was just fun as a kid playing, street football and just making those memories. And I don't talk to them anymore because I think they all in different fields as far as what they're doing with their life. But I think I'm still friends with all of them through Facebook. And I see them posting their stuff. Some of them have kids now and have families, but I don't really communicate with them as much. But I still follow them and see what they're doing as far as from Facebook.
I think it's awesome that you still have those great memories and you do still keep in touch with them. I feel like you're not the only one that doesn't completely keep in touch with their childhood friends. For example, somebody like myself or a lot of the people that are going to listen to this podcast episode, we all have that 5 or 6 friends that we still keep in touch with, probably from like first grade, second grade, third grade. We might not see them as much because they might be living in a different state or married and have kids or just in a different life path than you are, but you still keep in touch with them through social media or try to text them here and there. So trust me when I say, David, you're not the only one that is experiencing that. I definitely go through that as well. I know that your idols were Aaron Rodgers and Michael Vick. How did those 2 athletes influence you in a positive way? And why those 2 athletes of all of the athletes out there? Of course, Aaron Rodgers is a quarterback, but I kind of wanted just to hear from you why you enjoyed watching them play and why they are inspirational to you.
Well, for one, Michael Vick is because that's how I even got into football, got into playing football, took an interest in it. I remember it was in like 4th, 5th grade. There's this kid named Jared Washington. He played at USC, University of South Carolina Gamecocks. He was a receiver there. We went to elementary school together, and remember we was at lunch table. He was like, "Did y'all see what Michael Vick did? Y'all watching Michael Vick?" And everybody else around me saying, "Yeah, he was going crazy, da da da." He was playing with the Falcons at the time. And me, I never watched football. I had no idea who he was. It's like, "Yeah, y'all gotta watch him. Y'all gonna watch the game this week." And everybody saying, "Yeah." So I looked him up on Google one day, went on the internet, watched a little video about him, and I seen he just dropping back, running around, making people look crazy. And he just had the fans, going wild. So when I seen that a couple of times, it just got me a little excited, got me pumped. So that's when I realized, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. I want to run around and have the crowd screaming my name and, just cheering me on, because I feel like I can do that. Just run around the way he made it look. Just run around, make people miss, and, just throw the ball far. I'm like, I can do that. So that's when I got into it. That's when I realized I want to do that. That's when I told myself, that's the career I want to go. I want to play football. In my mind, I didn't say that's the career I wanted to go as far as, take it to the NFL level. It was just, at the time, it was like going into high school. I'm like, that's what I want to do. I want to do that. So that's how I got inspired by Michael Vick. And then throughout high school and college, as I started getting more into football and watching it, Aaron Rodgers has just become my favorite quarterback. I watch film on him. I try to, watch his workouts and study from him. And, just add what he does to my game. And, from then on to this day, Aaron Rodgers is like my role model, my favorite quarterback. And just one dude I look up to a lot.
It sounds like idols of yours, and you kind of mimic your style of play after them. And you kind of already answered my question, because I was going to ask you, at what age did you realize football was going to be your top sport choice? It sounds like through watching Michael Vick when you were younger and maybe as a teen, that's when you started to be like, hey, the light bulb went off. I'm thinking this is something I want to do for a career, or see if I can make that happen. And when did you realize that you would be a standout quarterback? Like, out of all the positions out there, of course, why quarterback? When did you realize you were a very talented quarterback?
Honestly, I feel like I'm still in the process of trying to prove that I'm a quarterback. I'm a star quarterback, because, as I was saying, I started playing football my sophomore year of high school, not having a clue on the quarterback position or how to do it. I just went and tried out because I knew I could throw far. I just wanted to play the position. I just wanted to throw far and, run around. So once I, did that my sophomore year, I had no idea, so it wasn't really good. My junior year, I learned a little bit, but I didn't have a good year. Then senior year is when I kind of, cleaned my mechanics up, learned a teeny bit, and I started getting recruited. So when I got recruited, I ended up getting recruited by, big-time schools, Maryland, Syracuse, Buffalo, but I didn't have the grades, so I ended up getting a scholarship to junior college, Lackawanna. So when I got there, it's just like, okay, kind of got a scholarship, so I'm kind of good at this, so let me go here. Went there, got my grades correct, and then I ended up finishing third in the country there, and I started getting more offers. So then I got UCONN, Temple, and a bunch of other schools, and I ended up committed to UCONN. So I got to UCONN, same situation. I got there, and right off the rip in camp, I won the starting job as a quarterback. And my junior year, I didn't have the best year, so they ended up benching me, and then I got my spot back the last 3 games of my junior year. Then senior year, is when I played again, I learned the position a little bit more. And, I had a crazy year, and I started getting recruited by NFL scouts. I talked to almost 20 teams during my draft process. And that's when I realized I can actually, I probably can go far with this. I can make it to the NFL after my senior year when I started getting calls from, NFL teams. So throughout my whole process, my draft process, I'm training as a quarterback. I'm doing my pro day and everything as a quarterback. But throughout the whole process, I'm hearing from agents and scouts, we might want you to change your position. We want you to, run some routes. We want you to catch punts. Would you be willing to do that? And that's when I realized, okay, maybe I'm not a quarterback. Maybe I'm an athlete. Then I got draft day came. The Vikings called me, coach QB at quarterbacks coach. I'm thinking I'm about to sign with the Vikings as a receiver or something like that. So he called me. He actually says, David, we watched your film, and I know a bunch of teams are calling about you, trying to change your position, do all that, but we honestly think you can throw the ball and you're electric with the ball in your hand, so we want to bring you in as a quarterback. So that's when I realized, okay, I knew all my hard work didn't go to waste because I know I'm a quarterback. So I got up there, and the first day of camp, before I could take a snap or anything, the head coach, I think Coach Zimmerman, he's the one who said, we wanted you to go with the running back. So they ended up moving me to running back up there. So at this point, I'm still trying to figure out, am I a quarterback or will they let me get a chance at quarterback? They didn't. So I ended up going to Tampa Bay. They brought me in as a receiver. So I was playing receiver down there, playing some punt return, and never got me a shot at quarterback. So then in my mind, it's just do I just give up on quarterback? Do I try to, focus on another position? Or am I a quarterback? Because that's all I've been playing. So, they cut me. And, I told myself, I'm like, what? I'm a quarterback. I told myself, my agent, I'm not going nowhere else unless they have me come in as a quarterback because that's what I want to play. That's what I want to do. So I just was training. And I ended up getting a call from Montreal in the CFL. They called me. They wanted me as a quarterback. So I went up there in 2019. The last 4 games of the season, they ended up signing me. And I finished the season up there as a quarterback. So from that then on, it's just been I know I'm a quarterback. I just still been trying to prove myself. I'm trying to get a full year in a professional league under a team under my belt as a quarterback so I can, start building my resume as a quarterback at the professional level so, I can, work my way back up into the NFL.
We are going to be talking all about college football in a second. Obviously, David went to UConn, and he already gave us a quick summary on his career, but I do want to dive a little bit more into that. David, I wanted to ask you because it sounds like you are highly motivated, highly skilled, highly talented, and you know what you want. Do you have any advice for young kids or teenagers that might be listening to this episode who are trying to eventually go pro or want to play in college? What advice can you give to them?
Yeah, honestly, I think the biggest thing a lot of kids should learn or should know or have the mindset is that you can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. And another thing is, you dictate your career because all it is you just have to believe in yourself. You have to have a plan and you have to, be consistent at it. And with those 3 things, that's how, I'm still, going with my career because a lot of people, thought I was going to be an athlete, this and that. But I knew to myself, I knew I was a quarterback because I did all this training. That's all I, learned. I've been training for that. And what got me to, the CFL as far as, when I left the NFL is I was consistent in my training. I had a plan. My plan was that, I was going to keep training and, showing my workout videos that I make every throw and post them on social media just to, get attention from other people as far as, whoever I come across. And you got to believe in yourself. And the way I got to Montreal was through the agent who ended up signing me was he said he seen a video on my Instagram that, somebody shared with him. And he said he just didn't know how I wasn't signed anywhere as a quarterback. So through, social media and just having a plan on how you're going to go about things, I feel like you can do anything possible because if you believe in yourself, you have a plan and you're just consistent at it, anything will work out in your favor. So that's the advice I would have for somebody, just believe in what you want to do and whatever you want to do, just be consistent at it and, just cherish it and, believe in yourself that you can, attain and accomplish whatever you have in mind.
That is some fantastic advice. So for, again, those of you guys that are listening, my Boss Babes fanatics, you just heard some excellent advice from David. He is on his own career path right now. I am almost 100% positive he will make it back into the NFL, especially with the mindset that he has. And he is trying to teach either the teenagers or the young kids how to get to that level, whether it be if you just want to play college or potentially go pro, as long as you're motivated, persistent, and stick with it. And obviously you have to stay healthy and have the skills, of course, you can play at a very high level. We are going to hop right into college football talk. So again, I am thrilled because he played college football right in the Northeast. I'm going to read off a couple quick stats about David, and then we will talk to him about his career. David was a star quarterback at the University of Connecticut. He actually was the first UConn quarterback in the FBS era to notch multiple 100-yard rushing games in the same season. In 2018, he started all 12 games at quarterback. First team All-New England, recorded the most rushing yards by a quarterback in UConn single season history with 1,139 yards. So clearly you know what you're doing. Clearly you are very skilled. So let's talk a little bit about your college career. Just hearing those stats read back to you, what do you think about that? I actually pulled those stats right from the UConn website, the UConn athletics website.
Yeah, UConn, I had a good experience at UConn. It was fun. It was everything I, wanted to pursue as far as college. I met a great coach there, Coach Red Lashley. I was thankful for him because he's the one who recruited me out of junior college. He came and recruited me out of JUCO, and he was my offensive coordinator for my junior year. And, we had a good relationship. He believed in me as his starting quarterback, but, I didn't have as much success as I wanted to my junior year because I just didn't have as much knowledge at the position that I had, going to my senior year. So after my junior year, he ended up leaving, going to SMU. And we got offensive coordinator John Dunn, who ended up coming from the Chicago Bears, who, I got to meet and, just sit down and build chemistry with and, build a relationship with him. And he basically sat down and opened up the book of quarterback to me. He basically taught me from reading defenses, how to do this, how to prepare for a game, and just how to go about everything as a quarterback, because that's one thing he realized early with me that I never had been taught all these things as a quarterback. Everything is just based off talent and what I've just been able to do on my own. So he basically gave me the game of quarterback, and that helped me, have a lot of success going into my senior year. So building a relationship with him throughout that, summer and spring going into my senior year, we was able to put together a lot of game plans and, put me and our offense in a bunch of, successful situations as far as, going to these games with, big teams like Central Florida, Boise State, Cincinnati, South Florida, all those teams. So knowing what I can do as far as my ability and with the players around me, was able to, put the ball in my hands a lot, get the ball to other players. And, we didn't have the wins we wanted my senior year, but offensively, I think we did some pretty good things as far as, rushing the ball, passing the ball. We scored a lot of points, more than, UConn scored in the past couple of years. So I just felt like, without Coach Dunn, I would have never had, all the success I had my senior year. So, I was thankful for him.
What were some of your top memories playing at UConn, whether it be you traveling with your team? Do you have any stadiums that you enjoyed playing at more than others?
I had a bunch of memories and, a lot of things that, I just missed. I felt like I wish I had 2 more years at UConn rather than just 2 years. The whole process of, just getting prepared for game day, going through camp, traveling with our buddies and visiting every team. But we ended up playing Boise my senior year, and I think that was one of the best experiences I had because, as a kid playing, NCAA, you dream of playing on that blue turf or playing in the blue turf, and to be out there is like a dream come true. It's like, wow, I'm actually playing on the blue turf. And that stadium was so packed. It was so loud. It's like everything you wanna experience as a high school football player trying to play at the highest level of college football, Division I. It's just like everything was there. You're playing on the blue turf. You're playing in front of 50,000 people. You have a crowd cheering your name or rooting against you because they know how talented you are. They trying to, knock you off your game. So all that was fun. Talking to the media every Wednesday, and just building relationships with other players at other schools that you're playing against. I met a bunch of good guys, as far as from Houston, South Florida, Central Florida, Boise, Cincinnati. Pretty much every school we played, I just built good relationships with players from all over that are playing in the NFL now and just have a successful career. So I miss all of that.
And lots of great memories playing up north. Obviously, UConn is a fantastic athletic school. Their basketball teams are, like, bar none, like one of the best around, correct? Or they were for a while. I haven't been keeping up with it that much, but I do know that UConn, aside from their football team, I know that the freaking basketball teams absolutely crush it.
Basketball, boys and girls, they've been good for a long time. Boys kind of fell off, but they're, still rebuilding with Coach Hurley there now. But the girls, they're still, top 3 in the country every year. That's another thing I miss on game day for the girls basketball team. They shut down the whole campus because, the campus starts getting packed. They pack the whole Gamble Pavilion every game day, and it's just like the girls basketball team are like celebrities up there. They get all that national recognition, and it's just a fun experience, being able to be in a position like, the girls basketball players. Those are our friends because, we're cool with them. We hang with them. We work out with them. And it's just a fun experience just being up there on game day for the basketball games.
And I know you were discussing earlier about making a ton of friends both in different states, but also probably friends within your own team while you were playing at UConn. I wanted to ask you, obviously you could probably talk about it now since you're not playing there anymore. Who were some of the jokesters on the team? Did you guys ever play any pranks on each other, pranks on your coaches? Give me some funny memories that you remember being with your team, if you guys had any. I mean, you guys could have just been a serious team and maybe nobody was a jokester.
Yeah, I would say our team was like a serious team because Coach Etzel, he's our coach, and he was more like a serious guy. Wasn't really a jokester, but we had our good moments in the locker room. One dude I can remember was like probably the clown of our team. He was the funny guy, Keon Dixon. He ended up transferring to Western Kentucky. He just came out this year, but he was our our clown kid. Rob King, Marvin Washington, Taj Herring. We just had a bunch of guys who just joke around in the locker room. But those are some of my good guys. I built a good relationship with my boy Thomas Joseph, aka they call him TJ. He played receiver up there. He's coaching now, and he's on his way to the CFL. He's about to get a coaching job in the CFL, but he's probably my best friend up there. Tyler Davis, he ended up getting drafted by Jacksonville last year by Jaguars tight end. Matt Pert, he got drafted by the Giants. And just a bunch of good memories, good guys I met there that are like my buddies, and a bunch of good memories in that locker room, off the field, on the weekends in the apartments, because, all the football players stay together. So we used to, just play ding-dong ditch on each other's apartments, doing the spring training and stuff like that. We used to have competitions every Friday. And those are one things I really miss because, you're working with your brothers, competing, trying to, get ready for that fall season. So all that stuff are good memories that I can, just cherish.
And according to a past scouting report, at one point you were ranked 58 recruit in Columbia, Maryland, and number 108 pro style quarterback in the nation. So as a young man, how did it feel, or how does it feel to be so athletically gifted?
I guess it feels good. Just knew I was, athletic as far as, I could run, jump. I could play multiple sports, but, if you were to ask me, would you expect yourself to be in this position a couple of years from now, like 4 or 5 years from now? I would never have guessed that because, I had no intentions on playing football at this high level. I just wanted to do it as a gig because I seen Michael Vick do it. And then it's, when you start having success, it's like, okay, you start committing to that and you start getting serious towards it. And, after junior college, I got to UConn, very hard compared to JUCO. So I'm thinking I'm just go D1 and, just have a little career there and not have too much success. But it ended up being everything opposite. So being in the position I am now, if you would have asked me, would I be here years ago? I'd be like, no. It feels good to have accomplished all this stuff and be considered, a star quarterback and have all this type of athleticism that helped me, get to where I am now. So, I'm just grateful for it and appreciative of it.
And we will wrap up the college football talk. Again, I fully enjoyed learning all about your college football career, chatting about UConn, hearing about all the fun that you had both on and off the field. I'm sure the Boss Babes fanatics loved hearing about it as well. And I'm sure the youngsters that might be listening to this episode really enjoyed that advice that you gave to them if they are interested in either going pro or playing at the collegiate level, what they need to do to get there. And of course, being persistent is one of the keys in this industry, whether you are an actor, model, pro athlete, you want to become a podcaster, anything in the entertainment industry in general, being persistent and consistently working on your skills is the way to get there. So let's hop into your pro career. Are now currently playing with a team in Albany, which is why you said earlier that you were in New York. We will speak about that shortly. You also were involved with the CFL, and then I also know you tried out with the Tampa Bay Bucks, which you spoke about a little bit earlier. So although you were not selected in the NFL draft, you actually got invited in 2019 to try out with the Tampa Bay Bucks. It sounds like they didn't have you try out for the quarterback position, but you tried out for another position. What was that whole experience like? What was that experience like on the field? Did you feel the high pressure? And I guess what were some of your top memories from that whole experience? I guess kind of walk us through what it was like getting that phone call from the Tampa Bay Bucks, not being drafted in the NFL right away, but still kind of having that opportunity to try out. And it sounds like you will most likely get an opportunity with an NFL team in the future.
Throughout my whole process, my draft process, I was training as a quarterback, and getting calls from teams left and right saying, hey, we might have to have you run a couple routes at Pro Day. I'm just like, okay, I'm cool with it as long as I get to show I can throw. So Pro Day came, and I ended up throwing first. And after I finished throwing my route tree, scout for the Patriots said, yeah, you don't have to run routes. We definitely know you can throw. You have an arm and all that good stuff. So then I have to run routes. Working out for the Titans. I worked out for the Ravens, Saints, and Colts. And, the Ravens were the team who showed the most interest. I talked to them probably 3-4 days before the draft. Talked to Coach Urban Smith, the quarterback's coach. He said, yeah, we're going to pick a quarterback in the late round. So you just keep your phone near you. So in my mind, when I heard that, I'm just thinking, I might get drafted by the Ravens because, I worked out for them twice. Talked to the coach a lot. I'm from the area. I'm like 15 minutes from Baltimore. So it's like, this is the perfect position. The offense they run was literally what I ran at UConn with Lamar Jackson. So I'm like, this just couldn't get no better. So draft day came. I think the third day came, and the Ravens were on the clock, and I seen they end up picking up Trace McSorley. So then I just was like, wow. So now I'm just thinking, okay, I'm going to have to just go and draft it somewhere. So after that, Bears called me, Tampa Bay called me, Chargers called me, and they all just said, yeah, would you be willing to come in as, a receiver? And I'm just like, sure. So, me and my agent talked, he like, just don't commit to nothing yet. Let's just hold out. So later that day, the Vikings called me. Coach Kubiak ended up calling me saying he wanted me coming as a quarterback. Went up there for mini camp, and they ended up switching my position. First day I got up there to running back for I don't know what reason. Didn't tell me why. That didn't really work out because I never took a snap as a position as running back, so didn't have success doing that. Then I went down to Tampa Bay. Antoine Randall, he ended up calling me. He's an offensive assistant down there with the receivers in Tampa Bay. So he called me, like, yeah, I'm a fan of you, Dave. I've been watching you since college, and me and you do the same thing. We were in the same position. I want to work with you. So agent got me down to Tampa Bay. Ended up going to Tampa Bay, and I was playing receiver, and I never played receiver in my life either. So I had to, learn how to line up, learn how to get my depth on routes and run routes. It was somewhat natural, but it was also hard as far as, the fundamental part and the mental part of learning the position. I didn't get many reps as a receiver when I was down there. Then they had me playing, some special teams, punt return, and kickoff. And then they ended up letting me go. So after they let me go, it's just like, okay, I still want to play football, but I just want to play quarterback because I don't really enjoy these positions. Playing all these other positions is not really fun. I didn't look forward to the practices. So I ended up signing with Montreal in the CFL. They brought me up for the last 4 games. I didn't end up playing because, they were late in their season going to postseason with the starting quarterback, Vernon Adams. But I got up there, got to learn the offense, learn the CFL game, get the whole experience, which was fun. They wanted to bring me back for camp in 2020, but, COVID hit, so everything canceled out for 2020 as far as, CFL workouts. I was scheduled to go to Dallas to work out for the XFL team, and all that just got thrown in trash because of COVID. So then 2021 came, and the new fan controlled football league (FCF). I didn't hear anything about them until Quavo, the rapper. He owns one of the teams, the Glacier Boys. He ended up, messaging me on Instagram. He DM'd me. He asked me, am I still trying to, play ball or, sign with a team? And I said, yeah, heck yeah. He's like, so come play for my team. And he sent me the video and everything, and I just thought it was a joke. So I was just like, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play in that. My agent wouldn't want me to get hurt, something like that. He was like, it's a good opportunity. So I was like, yeah, I'll pass. Appreciate it, though. So like a week later, he messaged me again. He said, what can I do to get you down here? So when he said that, it's just like, okay, he really want me down here. And it's Quavo. So just like, you know what? I'll do it. He's like, yeah, we pay in this league and all that stuff. So I was like, you know what? I'll do it. So I gave him my number. He called me. We chatted. He got me on the phone with Richard Sherman, the YouTube star Donald Destroying. And we just talked and chatted, and they ended up signing me as that quarterback for the Glacier Boys. And I played in that league, finished the season. It was from January. It was an 7-game season. January to the end of March. Got the experience, played. I ended up signing with this arena team, the Albany Empire. They brought me in. We're having a 8-game season, shortened season. So we just had our first game last week, and it's an 8-game season up until the second week of August. And I'm up here learning this game a little bit. It's similar to fan control, but it's a little different. So I'm up here learning behind the quarterback. He was like a 17-year vet. He won 3 rings, 4 MVPs. He's got a lot of accolades. So I'm up here learning about him playing this, hoping to, get some film and get an opportunity to play here before, the fall comes and, start getting ready for the XFL.
So you also just recently signed with a team in Albany called the Albany Empires, correct?
Yes.
And will that be starting up this fall? So you're currently in your off season?
No, our season started. So we had our camp was 2 weeks ago, and we just had our first game this past Saturday, and we have a game every Saturday up until the second week of August. That's the end of the season.
Oh, that's very exciting. So it's kind of like is it more so a team that's getting you prepped or in shape to stay in shape for upcoming seasons?
Yeah, basically. So it's a pro league. It's the National Arena League. So, it's pro football. You pay and everything, but it's not the highest level. So basically what a lot of guys do, some dudes come here and make a career out of it. But for a dude who's young as me, I'm coming here to, just play, get some film so I can get back into the bigger leagues as far as, the XFL, CFL, NFL, to have, film on my resume to show, scouts and stuff that I'm still playing, I'm still active, can still make plays. So I'm playing in this league just to, get some film. And then in the fall, the XFL camps, they start back up. So the XFL 2022 start in January.
Well, that's excellent. Best of luck to you. I can't wait to watch your career continue to unfold, both on social media and hopefully back in the NFL at some point. Sometimes the journey is just as fun as the actual destination. And the reason why I say that, a lot of you guys that are listening already know this, but my boyfriend also plays professional baseball. He got drafted in 2012, played with the Oakland Athletics for a number of years. When COVID hit, kind of similar to your situation, David, when COVID hit, he wasn't really able to play for X, Y, and Z reasons. A big part of that was they were minimizing the rosters and whatnot. So him having a whole year off, but having to train himself, he was stuck in a position where he didn't know what to do in this current season in 2021. Basically, long story short, he signed with an indie ball team, and last minute he got picked up by a AAA affiliate for the Seattle Mariners. So I'm very excited for him. And I guess the reason why I'm mentioning that is for the listeners to kind of have some encouragement that no matter what happens and whatever path you go down, keep striving for it, because if you work hard, you can get to where you want to be. And I guess I'm trying to also give you some positive advice as well, David, that it sounds like you have a great head on your shoulders. You know what you want. You're working hard. I guess my next question is, and you've already kind of answered it, what are your future goals, and when can we possibly see you back in the NFL? I know you can't fully answer that question, of course.
The goal is to, obviously get back in the NFL as soon as possible, but NFL, it doesn't just work where, you can just go right there. Everything is with timing, and, I have to build the resume as far as, at the pro level, I have to get a lot of film, prove to scouts so my agent can, persuade scouts that, hey, this guy can still make plays at this level. He's playing at the pro level making plays. So being in this league, getting film in this league, and then going to the XFL is like a stepping stone. PJ Walker, he played for the XFL Houston team for last year, 2020, ended up signing with the Panthers. So, my plan is to do the same thing he did, be in this league and then go straight to the XFL, play a season there or, mid-season if a team wants to bring me into camp, do that. But, biggest thing for me right now is just, stay healthy in this league and get prepared for the XFL because that's going to be the big resume that's going to, get me an NFL within 1 year, within that same year or not. So the plan for me, if I had to guess, get back in the NFL, I would say within the next year and a half or so.
Well, we are so freaking excited to see this happen and continue to watch your journey unfold. Again, I can't say it enough. Best of luck to you. And I would love to catch up with you again and have you back on this podcast, maybe at the start of your football season this fall to try to recap people on how your season with your team in New York did and how you are doing with your training and whatnot. We will switch on over and talk about some charity, coaching, and mentoring. But you guys are now listening to David Pindell. He is an athlete, a pro-style quarterback. I hope you guys are fully enjoying this episode because you are learning so much about a young man, young athlete that really knows what he wants, that's going for his dreams, that won't stop until he gets there. And I love hearing stories like this because, again, being in this career is no easy task. And I could say that because although I'm not a professional athlete, being in my industry, a lot of you guys know, having competed on reality TV shows when I was younger and having to start my own podcast and doing all the stuff that I've done, I totally understand what it's like beating adversity and being competitive and just having to have that driving force. So having somebody on here like David is a breath of fresh air. You are now listening to the BosBabes Lifestyle Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Brittany Baldi, and charity coaching and mentoring. You guys know that I love talking about how our pro athletes, their wives and girlfriends, or our reality TV competitors give back. So I know that David is super busy, so he doesn't get that actively involved with charity just yet. But I know he likes to do a little bit of coaching and some mentoring. So, David, can you talk about that, please?
I'm from Columbia, Maryland, 15, 20 minutes outside of Baltimore. And it's a lot of kids that grow up over there, playing football that aspire to be in the same position as me, go to college at a high level, have a chance to make it to the big leagues, the pros. So what I do in our community back at home is me and this guy, Chris Brooks, who's like a mentor to me, who's been helping me out since I started playing football and just being like a big brother to me. We get a group of kids in the area, probably 3 days a week. We get a group of kids and we basically train them. We do like quarterback training. He does running back training, and I basically help him break down the football mechanics as a quarterback. He helps them as a running back. We merge them together at the end. We have like quarterbacks throwing the running backs. And it's basically what I do on my Instagram. So if you follow me on Instagram, you see my videos, I throw with a lot of kids and stuff. And that's pretty much what we do. We try to, just give kids a chance to, work with us top athletes because, when you're a kid, you aspire to just meet these big athletes. And for me, I've never met a, big athlete when I was younger in my life. So giving kids the opportunity, be around an athlete, learn from him, pick his brain, and just see how he trains, it's just something that, a lot of kids appreciate. So we try to do that, whether it's me and Chris or I have a bunch of, NFL players or free agents that are in my area that, we get together and we'll just work with them and we, train them and just help them out in any way possible.
That is absolutely incredible that you help out those young kids, both coaching and mentoring them. And game day eats, what are some of your favorite game day eats, whether it's pre-game, post-game, or whether it's just you and your buddies hanging around? Do you like to eat pizza, ice cream, peanut butter and jellies, or do you go the healthy route? What are some of your favorite game day eats, David?
I think since I've been playing football the last, 4 or 5 years, team dinner, every game day we have a team dinner. One thing that I've been fed consistently from high school to college to the pro level is pasta. And I feel like, that's something I've adapted to. So like game day, It's like I expect pasta. I look forward to eating pasta on game day. Pasta with some garlic bread and like some Parmesan cheese. That's probably my favorite game day meal.
Carbo load, especially before a long athletic day. Love me
Yeah.
some pasta. Obviously, I'm Italian, so I do love me some pasta as well. And positive pop. You guys know that I love wrapping up my show with some positive pop. So, David, whether you like a Bible verse, again, I don't even know if you're spiritual or not, but if you have a Bible verse that you like to read, or if you do any positive affirmations or journal writing, or do you have a pump up song that you like to listen to before a game or in the morning, what is your positive pop?
There is a quote that I like to just go by. One thing I like to go by every day is just, what's the point of doing something if you don't love it? The reason I say that is because I feel like if you find something you love to do, you'll get up every day, looking forward to doing that, looking forward to giving it your all, and just going your best at it. You won't get tired of it. But if you're doing something that you're not really into, you don't really love, then you're gonna wake up every day feeling like there's a burden on you, something you don't really want to do. You're pushing yourself, you're forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do. So I feel like every day everybody should wake up and just do something that they love. If you don't love it, then what's the point of doing it? You're wasting your time.
Excellent positive pop, and I could not agree with that more. Do what you want to do, because at the end of the day, life is very short. And if you're not waking up every day excited for Monday, like I feel like so many people just wish away the whole week because they're working a 9 to 5,
Exactly.
trying just to make money and have a paycheck. And they just wish away the whole week waiting for Friday and Saturday. And then come Sunday, they have the Sunday scaries. And they don't even want to get up to go to work on Monday. David, please shout out your social media. Where can people follow you online? If you have, I know you have Instagram, of course, but Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, where can people keep in touch with you and follow your budding career?
You can follow me on Facebook, David Pindell, Instagram and Twitter, David Pindell _. You can reach out to me with questions, anything. I respond to all my messages, or as many as I can if possible. I'm on all social medias, David Pindell, just my name _. Just reach out to me, questions, anything, or you want to just chat, just hit me up. And if I can, I'll get to you as soon as possible.
Thank you so much for coming on this Lifestyle Sports Podcast. And again, thank you, BosBabes Fanatics, for tuning into this episode. We have so many fantastic episodes coming out this summer with some of your favorite professional athletes like David. And you guys also get to hear from some of your favorite athletes' wives and girlfriends. So you get all the full spectrum of the different angles of sports. And please continue to follow us on social media at the BosBabes. And thank you guys so much for following us on iTunes and Spotify. I highly appreciate you guys listening to this podcast. I hope you guys enjoy learning something every time you listen to my incredible guests. So David, thank you so much for coming on here. I am wishing you a fantastic career, and I want to get you back on here this upcoming fall to talk about how your summer season went.
Yep, definitely. I appreciate you for having me once again.